Welcome and good evening. My name is Laura Milner and I'm the Chair of Voter Services for the Kittitas County League of Women Voters. It is my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the League, as well as the Ellensburg Daily Record and Northern Kittitas County Tribune, to the School Board Candidates Night. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the League's production and post-production crew, Charlie Sorensen, Karen Raymond, and Dolores Irwin, for making this event possible. Kittitas County League, a nonprofit, has been in existence for over 50 years, has presented Candidates Night to help educate voters since 1980. We are a nonpartisan grassroots organization that never supports or opposes individual candidates or political parties. Our goal in hosting these events is to educate voters about candidates and their positions as they stand for election, because informed voters do make a difference. The League of Women Voters records and retains a full unedited copy of all candidates' forums. If any portion of a League forum is redistributed out of context to make a candidate appear to say something they did not say, or are edited to make a candidate look bad, or in any way they did not actually look at the original forum, then the League of Women Voters will alert the media, provide the unedited video for comparison, and file appropriate complaints with any applicable governing authority. Tonight's forum will focus on the candidates running for school board seat number 5. Be aware that all 3 candidates running for school board seat number 5 were invited. We're delighted to welcome tonight 2 candidates, Michael Rowley and Hilda Pina-Afaro. As we begin, I want to note that our ballots will be mailed July 16th. Please call the auditor's office if you don't receive yours in a timely manner after July 16th. You still have time to register or change your address. You can do so online until July 26th and in person at the auditor's office until 8 p.m. on Tuesday, August the 3rd. Your ballot must be postmarked on or before August the 3rd. There are also 9 ballot drop boxes throughout Kittitas County. If you're unsure where yours is, do check the auditor's office website for the complete list. In addition to this live stream event, the recording will be on the Kittitas League YouTube channel with links found at kittitasleague.org. We thank the following media partners for also sharing these forums: Ellensburg Daily Record and Northern Kittitas County Tribune. We have discussed the ground rules for the forum with the candidates prior to today's event. My job is to keep us on time and on task, which means that if a candidate goes past time, I will move us along. The candidates have the opportunity to make a 2-minute opening statement. Then we will ask 6 prepared questions that we sourced from the community. We provided these questions to the candidates a few hours ago, and they will have 1 to 2 minutes, depending on the question complexity, to respond to each question. Then we will move on to up to 3 live stream audience questions, depending on time availability. The candidates will have 90 seconds to respond to each of these questions. The forum will conclude with a 60-second closing statement by each candidate. Should an opponent wish to rebut a response, they may signal they wish to do so. Once recognized, they shall have 30 seconds. Only 1 rebuttal per question will be permitted. We will rotate the order that the questions are asked so that no candidate must always answer first. And if I make an error in this regard, please let me know. If you are viewing this live, you can submit a question by texting to 509-654-9030. That is 509-654-9030. The questions must be for all the candidates. League members will review the questions. We may combine or edit for clarity, nonpartisanship, and time limitations. Our primary voters guide will go live on our website, kittitasleague.org, by July 15th. The guide includes links to candidates' campaigns websites if provided, financial filings, completed candidates, League of Women Voters questionnaires, and more. We urge you to check it out and share it with other voters. At this point, we would like to welcome Michael Rowley and Hilda Pina-Afaro to this forum. Thank you both for taking time to be with us, and thank you for your willingness to serve our community on the school board seat number 5. As we discussed, I will alternate who answers first. Mr. Rowley, we start with you for opening statements. You will have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thanks for putting this together and inviting us to be part of your forum tonight. My name is Michael Rowley. I've been a resident of Kittitas County since 2003. All three of our children have gone through the Ellensburg School District, from the little Damon School out on Monastash to Ellensburg Christian School, Morgan Middle School, and currently two of the three are at Ellensburg High School. I made a decision probably a few years ago to try and run for school board, as I just wanted to be another concerned parent, trying getting a voice out there for other families that maybe don't feel like things are going quite the way they should, or maybe we have another way of giving some input to the school board and to the school district. So I decided that I was going to run for the first time this year and try and win a seat and see if I can make a difference in the school district and be helpful to the school board. That's about it for me right now. This is my first time running for a school board position or any political position, so it's kind of all new to me, but I am learning along the way, and hopefully there's I can make a difference. So
Thank you. Ms. Pena Alfaro, you have 2 minutes to make your opening statement.
Thank you very much, Laura. And thank you to the Kittitas Women League for organizing this debate. I think this is very useful for our community. I have been working in education for over 25 years. I own and run a language school in San Antonio, Texas for 16 years, where I partner with school districts to implement programs boosting students' literacy and language. I have a bachelor's degree in international relations, a master's degree in business and economics, and most recently, I earned a PhD in culture, literacy, and language for the University of Texas. I have a diverse educational background that provides me with a distinct and empathetic perspective to the educational work I engage in. I have been happily married for over 33 years. I have two grown daughters, Mariana, a public school teacher, and Marisa, an organismal biologist. My values are integrity, empathy, commitment, and positivity. And I would like to continue serving in the school district because I think that to support the community and the well-being of our children and to assure that all our children are educated and respect, that is very important for us as a community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Question number 1. In what school district or community activity organizations have you been involved with, if any? Ms. Pena Alfaro, we begin with you. You have 60 seconds.
Thank you. I recently obtained my Master Gardener certification. As part of my service to the Ellensburg community, I am proud to say that I am part of the team that produced more than 60 radio spots in English and Spanish, providing tips and information about gardening. I was also part of the Ida Nason Aronica School Committee to name the school. It was a real honor to collaborate with different stakeholders and to be able to listen to different points of view, resulting in a common understanding and effort. I have been serving as a board member of the Ellensburg School District for the last year. It was a very challenging year for everyone, students, teachers, staff, and families, but we managed to successfully end the school year with an in-person graduation for our high school students. I now serve at the Ellensburg School District Educational Foundation Educational Fund, as well as the Kittitas County Early Learning Coalition.
Thank you. Mr. Rowley, I repeat the question for you. In what school district or community activities organizations have you been involved with, if any? And you have 60 seconds.
thank you. So when we first moved to town, I joined Rotary and was involved with Rotary for probably about 4 or 5 years. Unfortunately, our kids started to get more and more active, so I needed to take a break from Rotary, but I stayed involved with their education, volunteering as a parent during school at Ellensburg Christian School, where I spent 8 years as an in-class teacher's assistant, helping with either reading, math, grading papers. But I was very involved with the school in lots of other activities that they did. Also, I was involved with a lot of youth sports as our kids were growing up. So I was involved with helping coach basketball and tended to help with fundraising with our daughter's dance ensembles that they did for productions. But mostly it was just kind of as a volunteer, helping out here and there when I could and trying to make a difference as a parent.
Thank you. Question number 2. How are you promoting your school board candidacy? Mr. Rowley, we begin with you. You have 60 seconds.
All right. So as I said before, this is a first time running for a public office, and being that it's new to me, pretty much I just started out with reaching out through Facebook and social media, lots of local friends, family, encouraging me to run for the position. And so I've got them backing me and endorsing me at this time. Currently, I've been out and about in the public and talking with some people about running, and hopefully I look forward to meeting a lot more parents and more voters and trying to understand what they're looking for in a school board position so that I can potentially fulfill that position the best way I could.
Thank you. All right, repeating the question. How are you promoting your school board candidacy? Ms. Pina Alfaro, you have 60 seconds.
Well, this is also my first time running for office, and I'm new to this. So I started by also doing a Facebook page book, and talking to people, different stakeholders of the community, families, different school members, and they all encouraged me to run and keep my position, retain the position. They told me that they are happy with the school board job that I am doing and all the efforts that we are promoting as school board and the work that has been done as a school member. And that's why I decided to run. So now it's just a media campaign, but I am planning on meeting with different stakeholders of the community in order to listen to their requests and their concerns to help them better and to represent all their opinions and willings into the position.
Thank you. Question number 3 is a 2-part question. What is the school board member's role and responsibility, and how does that role differ from the role of superintendent or administration? Ms. Pina Alfaro, you start this round. You have 90 seconds.
Well, the Ellensburg School District Board subscribes to the highest levels of professional and personal conduct and performance. All of our school directors, we follow the standards provided by the Washington State School Director Association, WASDA, in order to identify the elements of good governance and effective board leadership as from best practices and current research. As a board member, I pledge to focus on student achievement as my primary responsibility. I provide leadership centered on promoting student achievement through planning, policy setting, advocacy, and monitoring the performance so each and every student succeed. There are many challenges ahead and the resources are scarce. Board members are part of a team that makes suggestions and raise issues that are considered important for our students at the school district. The superintendent is the one in charge. She executes the plan and she decides how to address the particular issues.
Thank you. I'm going to repeat the question for you, Mr. Rowley. It's a 2-part question. What is a school board member's role and responsibility? How does that role differ from the role of the superintendent or administration? You have 90 seconds.
Thank you. As part of a school board, I would like to, be instrumental in helping to review and adopt the school board policies. Obviously, looking at making sure that the superintendent is doing her duties as keeping and managing all the schools, the district, but setting goals for the superintendent to follow. So whether it's on the school board itself to come up with the goals, and it's on the superintendent to implement and monitor that. As far as the school board, we would monitor the superintendent's progress and the district's progress on that. I feel that the school board should be held accountable by the community. And so therefore reaching out to the families, the students, and being held accountable is going to be one of the most important things. The superintendent is going to be held accountable by the school board. So we would be in charge of making sure that all duties are done to the fullest and the best possible outcomes for the school district.
Thank you. Question number 4. As we all know, one of the more serious issues facing the school district is the shortage of bus drivers. Please describe what you see as the causes of this situation and what steps you would take to help resolve these issues. Mr. Rowley, we begin with you. You have 90 seconds to respond.
I'm in charge of a family business. We deal with retail, and so therefore finding employees is an ongoing issue for us. I think we've had discussions about the school bus shortage, a lot of our family friends and stuff sitting around talking. And one of the biggest things I feel is, how do you retain good employees? How do you retain any kind of employee? And most of the time it comes down to, money. Is it in the budget? Can bus drivers be paid more? Are they leaving because of retirement? Are they leaving because of wages? So I think we would have to look at whether or not the school bus drivers are leaving for those reasons. If they're leaving because of wages, maybe we need to reevaluate and see if there's something that we can do to encourage them, incentivize them to stay on as bus drivers. One of the other things, I'm not quite familiar with the bus driver staffing. However, it seems like maybe we need to have backups or bus drivers in line for those bus drivers that are deciding to retire in the next year or two. So we get people in and get them trained and hopefully retain more than lose more. And then we can address a lot of the issues, such as like the new tiered bus routes that they plan on doing. So thank you.
Ms. Pena Alfaro, I repeat the question. As we all know, one of the more serious issues facing the school district is the shortage of bus drivers. Please describe what you see as the causes of this situation and what steps you would take to help resolve these issues. You have 90 seconds.
Thank you, Laura. In my opinion, one of the most pressing issues to balance educational opportunities is transportation. Currently, we have a transportation system that does not provide service for all students to attend the extracurricular activities, and we also face some problems regarding time gaps. Part of this issue is the shortage of bus drivers. During the last year, the superintendent and one school director, Tosha Woods, led 6 parent community listening sessions. As a result of this effort, it was evident that part of our problem is the fact that our school district does not have school boundaries. Shortage of bus drivers is a national problem, and maybe it is due to the nature of the job. The bus drivers work early in the morning, then they have a gap, and then they return to work in the afternoon. In the majority of the cases, it's a part-time job. Retention is not an issue in our school district. Many of the bus drivers, or the majority of the bus drivers that resign, they move to another city or they retire. As far as payment, the pay is good, but what happens is that we have our hands very tied because of state mandates. Fortunately, this district started working on the concerns raised by parents regarding this issue. And next school year, we have a committee that we decide about boundaries, which I think will help solve this problem.
Thank you. Question number 5. This past year has been, to use an overused phrase, unprecedented. Recognizing there are many constituent groups who are sincere, authentic, and caring in their approach to education, please address what you think are the two major concerns for each of these groups and what steps you would take to address these concerns. The groups are teachers, parents, students, school staff. We give you 2 minutes to answer this question. Ms. Pina Alfaro, it's over to you. You have 2 minutes.
I think that the different stakeholders of the Ellensburg School District have a sincere, authentic, and caring approach to education. Every teacher, parent, and administrator care for the well-being of the students, and we center our attention on student achievement. We all are a team. I think that the two of the main concerns for everybody are mental health and achievement gaps. Many of our students are struggling with depression, anxiety, and other emotional and mental issues. Currently, the school district hired to help our students, but the crisis we are facing is very complex and we need to pay close attention to this matter. We need more resources to have the possibility to have at least one mental expert at each school. The achievement gap is another important issue. At the state level, 59.6% of students met the English language and arts standards. Here in our district, the percentage is 52%. Let me repeat that. Only 52% of our students meet the standards. In math, the results are the same. 48.9% of students at the state level meet the standards of math, and here in the Ellensburg School District, only 44.2%. To address this problem, it is very important to start producing data in order to know what exactly needs improvement. Accountability is key. As a board member, I am vigilant of the reorganization taking place at the central office, staff and teachers' positions to maximize operations and student success.
Thank you. All right, so we repeat the question for you, Mr. Rowley. The past year has been, to use an overused phrase, unprecedented. Recognizing there are many constituent groups who are sincere, authentic, and caring in their approach to education, please address what you think are the two major concerns for each of these groups and what steps you would take to address these concerns. These are teachers, parents, students, and school staff. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. So as of this last year being unprecedented, obviously none of us knew what was going to happen and what was going on with education. And one of the hardest things for us was figuring out how to best make sure that all the kids got education. They needed to do either online or in person. Obviously, with special education and things like that, online doesn't quite work. So I think that, you know, as far as this last year going, we definitely need to have plans in place for all students so that they can get the best education that they can in any kind of situation. One of the things that I found with our kids and the lack of being in-person education was the social aspect. They definitely seem to regress and not have quite as much social skills that all students, all grade levels, develop throughout the years going through school. So I think as far as parents and students, that's going to be a big issue moving forward, making sure that these kids get into the schools, get the education they need, get the social interactions that they can have, and hopefully moving forward can succeed the best they can. One of the things that, as far as the teachers and the staff, faculty staff and things like that, that I noticed, I think safety is one of the biggest issues for them. Making sure that the schools are safe, whether it's outside threats, what we dealt with last year, having plans in place so that they are going to feel the safest that they can. Aside from that, I love dropping the kids off at school and seeing like a police presence there. So I think safety is met in that situation. So, you know, what else can we do to make sure that the school district is safe for everyone?
Thank you. Question number 6. What are your thoughts on the school district's program for special education students, English language learners, and gifted students? Mr. Rowley, we begin with you. You have 90 seconds.
Thank you. So I'm not fully aware of all of the school district programs. I do feel that special education, English language learners, gifted students deserve all the assistance they require. As far as special education, I feel that our school district could invest in some extra training for staff and teachers that are unfamiliar with some of the lesser cases of special needs. We have a son with a low-end spectrum disorder, and he has some social deficiencies. And I noticed that a lot of teachers, as he was going through the school district, just didn't fully understand the plans that we had in place for him. So, you know, he kind of fell through the cracks. He kind of suffered a little bit in learning. And I think that if we could just invest a little bit more in some of the low-end spectrum training for teachers so that they understand best what is available to these students so that they can succeed. Likewise, ELL, you know, they need to have as much of an opportunity as everyone else. And so, you know, gifted students, we just need to make sure that they have the opportunity to succeed just like anyone else. And so, you know, having those resources in place for them, that's what I think needs to be a big priority.
Thank you. Ms. Pena-Alfaro, I repeat the question. What are your thoughts on the school district's programs for special education students, English language learners, and gifted students? You have 90 seconds.
Well, I think that these 3 programs are very challenging for every school district. Effective education leaders develop and support intellectually rigorous and coherent systems of curriculum instruction and assessments to promote each student's academic success and well-being. It is very important to ensure that for all 3 programs, and really for all programs, the decisions on curriculum instructions are guided by regular objective data analysis. I think that this is key in order to really serve the students well. We live in a very complex and diverse society, and the school district needs to emphasize that a more egalitarian school is better for all children and for our community in general. That means the school district needs to really assure that all the students in the different programs are served in the best way possible. All students benefit for a personalized learning as well as by having books and materials that present different cultures, different abilities, different ways to understand the world. Currently, the district is implementing Win Time, which is a powerful way to provide better outcomes for students and to narrow achievement gaps. It is very important that we as a society view children using an asset-based approach. Each student has a lot of resources that need to be incorporated into the
Miss, and we'll stop you there.
Yes.
Okay. We have been collecting questions from our YouTube audience. I want to remind you that we only have time for 3 questions. Our volunteers may have combined or reworded questions to maintain nonpartisanship or for clarity. If we do not get to your question, remember, you can always reach out to the candidates via email and ask them directly. So let us see here. If elected, could you support a school board decision you did not vote in favor of? Why or why not? All right, so Ms. Pena-Alfaro, I'm starting with you and I will repeat the question. If elected, could you support a school board decision you did not vote in favor of? Why or why not? You have 90 seconds.
Well, as you may know, I have been serving as a school board member for the past year, and we work as a team. We have to talk to each other and really listen to different points of view that are present, and listen also to the stakeholders of the school district. In the majority of the cases, we have been very fortunate, and we can, by listening and understanding the different issues, we have arrived to an agreement. Until this point, I have bought in agreement with all the other school board members. But I think that if the well-being of the students or the safety of the students, teachers, or staff is at risk, I could not vote for a decision that the school board member, the school board takes. If this decision puts in jeopardy the well-being or the safety of our students, staff, and children. And in that way, I will vote in a disagreement. I will vote no. But otherwise, I will try, as I have been, to work as a team and find an agreement in order to achieve a better school district for everybody and for our children. That will do it.
Thank you. Mr. Alley, I'm repeating the question. If elected, could you support a school board decision you did not vote in favor of? Why or why not?
So as Ms. Peña-Alfaro said, the school board is a team position. You have 5 board members that are trying to make a decision for the best outcome for the student, for the school district, and things like that. I feel that if there was something I was opposed to or voted no against, even though I chose to vote no or vote yes for, conversely, I would still support the school board. It's maybe not the best, in my opinion, maybe it wouldn't be the best decision. However, as a school board as a whole, we would have to be in unison on that. And so I think, you know, if I was involved in a no answer, I would definitely still support the school board and try and help implement it the best I could.
Thank you. Okay, our second question is, and I'll read this twice, how can the school district better prepare students as citizens? So Mr. Rowley, we're going to start with you. And the question is, how can the school district better prepare students as citizens? You have 90 seconds.
So as far as students becoming citizens, I feel that maybe there should be some other educational avenues for them, meaning maybe there's some extracurricular or involved in some of the current education processes that helps better prepare them for entering the work world or life after college. It's a little bit down the road. It's 4 years after high school when they graduate college, but a lot of times there's a lot of school students that move right into the work world. In high school, they could be getting jobs. And so there are a lot of things I think that not only do parents teach their kids, but maybe there's some other avenues in the education system that we can help the students be better prepared for after school and moving forward. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Peña-Alfaro, I will repeat the question. How can the school district better prepare students as citizens? You have 90 seconds.
Well, currently, the school board has put in place a strategic plan that we call Board Ends, and that centers attention on outcomes for students. One of the foundations for academic, one of the outcomes is future-ready skills, and the name is connections. So the main goal is that students feel academically and socially connected to their schools and to the society. One of the ways in which the school could better prepare students to be better citizens is to use the different projects that the students are doing at school, and then try to connect those projects with the society, with our community, in order for the students to work in the community, providing service, providing internships, and then understanding how the community works, how a particular project that they develop in the classroom could be implemented in our society, in our community, and then make connections. And by making those connections and applying or implementing the project into the community, they will be more aware of their responsibilities as citizens.
Thank you. Our third and final question is, and I'll repeat this twice, special education was adversely impacted by the pandemic. What can the school board do, if anything, to better position the district to ensure student special needs are met during the next crisis? Ms. Pena Alfaro, will begin with you, but I will reread the question. Special education was adversely impacted by the pandemic. What can the school board do, if anything, to better position the district to ensure student special needs are met during the next crisis? You have 90 seconds.
Well, I definitely agree that the special education was one of the most negatively impacted by the pandemic. The pandemic was something that we couldn't even imagine. And it has been like a learning experience. So I would say that now the school as a whole, the school district as a whole, teachers, administrators are more aware of the needs of the special education children that they have. And also they have, for example, during the pandemic, they developed the possibility for the special education children to attend the school, even if the schools were closed at the time, and provide one-on-one support. So I would say that this is a good starting point in order for us to be aware of the needs that this part of the population have, and start thinking about what could be the best solutions at the way in which the school board can really support these students and all students as a whole. And I would say that the win in time that is starting to take place in the school district would be one of the solutions that can be implemented.
Thank you. Mr. Alley, I will repeat the question. Special education was adversely impacted by the pandemic. What can the school board do, if anything, to better position the district to ensure student special needs are met during the next crisis? You have 90 seconds.
Thank you. So as far as the school board, I think that we as a school board would be able to further would come up with a better development plan to make sure and ensure that the special education students definitely are not left behind. Being that we started out with online learning and moved to a hybrid schedule, obviously that affected all special education, and therefore they kind of fell behind early on. I think that, if possible, the school board maybe can implement, or with the school district can implement, some kind of extra education help. Tutors that are educated in special education, or other teachers that can be certified to help out in certain situations where, the extra help can be given, whether it's earlier, during the day, after school, to make sure that the special education students are fully taken care of. Yes, it was great that most of the special education students, when we started back live, were able to go every day. They were not on hybrid at first. They were live students right away, so they were able to go in every day. And I think, just making sure that moving forward, they have the best chance that they have to succeed as students.
Thank you. We're now at the closing statement portion of the evening. Mr. Rowley, you have 60 seconds.
Thank you. Thanks again for putting this on for us so that everybody can kind of meet myself and Ms. Peña Alfaro. I would just like to thank you for even considering me for a school board. I am just a concerned parent. I want to be involved more in my kids' education. I think being on the school board, I have a chance to do so. I look forward to potentially being a voice for some parents and students that maybe they don't feel like they're being heard through the school board, the current school board, but maybe moving forward, they feel like they might be able to have someone that is currently a parent with students in the school district. And so hopefully, you know, I make a difference that way. We definitely, you know, the school board definitely has a major impact on the education system of our youth, and I just would like to be a part of it.
Thank you. Ms. Peña Alfaro, you have 60 seconds to make your closing statement.
Thanks. Together we can make a difference. I will continue to contribute to make Ellensburg School District a better place for our children. I moved to Ellensburg several years ago. Since the beginning, this beautiful community has welcomed me and my family with open arms. Ellensburg is a place where people care for each other and where we deserve an outstanding school system. Education is my passion, and I have dedicated my life to teaching and learning at different levels and in different countries. To me, public education should be inclusive and very high quality. Furthermore, education needs to be about the well-being of all our children, our teenagers, and our community as a whole. All students deserve the opportunity to be educated, to be appreciated, and to find a path to succeed for life. I am passionate about education, and I know I can continue to make a difference as a board member.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank Michael Rowley and Hilda Peña Alfaro for sharing their views and their willingness to serve on the school board in seat number 5. We want to thank our co-sponsors, the Ellensburg Daily Record and the Northern Kittitas County Tribune, for sharing the information about these forums and these forum videos throughout the voting season. Finally, thank you to the many league volunteers who make these events possible. To get more information about all candidates running in the 2021 general election, the Kittitas League has created a nonpartisan online voters guide where you can find links to the candidates' websites and other helpful resources. You can get information at vote411.org and at the Washington State Secretary of State's office. We want to invite you to join us again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for the Kittitas Mayoral Candidates Night. The link can be found at thekittitasleague.org. Remember to vote for the candidates that best represent your views. Every vote counts. Your vote matters. Join me by casting your ballot in the August 3rd primary election. Thank you